All right. Good afternoon. Boop, boop, boop. For me, because it's Eastern Standard Time. Okay, this is going to be a short one because I'm headed out for some afternoon fun with three of my children anyway. All right. Day 36, Statement 6. My inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. And as the principle of supply and action, it is impossible for me to have any needs or unfulfilled desires. My inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. And as the principle of supply and action, it is impossible for me to have any needs or unfulfilled desires. So I actually want to focus on the first line of this today. And I did some teaching inside of the Sensual Energy Coven. The Sensual Energy Coven is my membership group for women. And if you're interested in that, you can DM me. But I spoke on overcoming fear in the coven this morning. And so I want to touch on the first line of this because it kind of ties in and reminds me of that. My inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. So when it's been a really big thing to me that, as I adjust my clothing, make sure that, part of doing all of this work, right? This abundance, I want to create more wealth in my life. I want to, create more love in my life. I want all this more that we want to create in our lives. Far too often, usually it comes from an egoic side of things. Like that's our human saying, "Hey, I want this. I need this. I have to have this in my life." What I want to encourage you to do as you go through the statements in this book, I mean, we're on day 36, but even if you're still back on day 15, or if you decide to do this another round, I want to encourage you to really begin to look at your needs and desires from your soul's level. Now, there's nothing wrong with what the human wants, right? Like my ego desires to live near trees and grass and also have a body of water nearby. Like those are the things that my human needs in order to feel most relaxed, to feel most so that I can continue to allow my soul to come through. But there are things that my soul is here to experience and that my soul really wants, needs, and desires. And if I'm not clear, I could be missing out on so much. So much. For instance, sometimes our human self, we think that what we really want is a huge mansion house, right? But we really want that as a symbol or a status to say, I've made it. We want the house not for us, but to show other people what we've achieved and accomplished. So it's not really the calling of our soul. Like the calling of our soul is this cabin in the woods, just all quiet and whatnot. But the ego's like, I can't show anybody I did anything with the cabin in the woods. No, they need to see my driveway, my expanse, And if we're not clear, then we end up following the urges of the ego, following the urges of our human, buying that huge mansion, living in it for the first couple of years, like, yeah. And in year 6, we're like, I hate this house. It's too much. Because the soul is like, this is not what we want. And so part of doing this work is really, is really getting in tune with your wants, needs, and desires. Not what your human person wants, but what is your soul desiring, which might be very different from what you would have ever assumed your life would be like. But the thing is that when you get in line, in attunement with that, and that's the purpose of the body. The purpose of the body, and you're going to hear me say this a lot more as I go on. The purpose of the body is that it is this wonderful antenna. It's an antenna, and it's receiving the signal, and then it's going out into the world, right? And again, you all know how antennas work. Some of y'all might not, because you didn't grow up in the era that I grew up in, where there were antennas everywhere. You are receiving the signal, and it is going out into the world. So if you're reading the statements in this book, as we've been doing, because this is day 36, and you're just looking at what you're what your human wants, right? What you think your mind wants, right? I want a Lamborghini because you heard somebody who's making six figures say that, and you figure it's a status symbol, right? You want to be like a boss bitch because that's what you're hearing folks say, right? But it's just not you. It's just not you. And so you're doing all these things and you're posturing, because you're like, yeah, I want abundance. I want some wealth. And your soul is like, hey, hi, this is how we can do it. And it really didn't have to be all that boss bitchy, right? It don't have to be all that, yo, what's up? It doesn't have to be all that posturing. It doesn't have to be the huge mansion. Maybe it is. Maybe that is what your soul is here to experience. But you're so afraid of it that you're holding back from it. And it can go all the different ways. But really the key here, when it says, my inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires. See, because you are the walking embodiment of this luscious, lavish, infinite abundance. Is it Waddles? I forget his first name, but whatever the mind can conceive, the mind can achieve type thing, right? And so if you are this, because here's the thing, with great power comes great responsibility. When you really embody and understand that you are the walking embodiment of this infinite abundant energy that has created everything, like the air you're breathing right now that you can't see, but sustains your life. You don't question it. You don't question your water. You just know it's going to be there. When you embody that understanding, like you breathe your air, like you just know, air's here. Now, whenever you have a need or desire, instantly and constantly takes on form and experience. Because your channel is clear. This is how you bend time. This is how you quantum leap. You get clear. You clear your body. You can do that, yes, partly through food. Fasting is wonderful. Through meditation, that's amazing. Through embodiment work, because you're getting out the shit. All of the clumped up energy of your life thus far on this earth that has prevented you from living who you truly are in its fullness. Embodiment work helps to shift and release that energy so you can be clear. And then when you're clear, when you have a want, need, or desire, it instantly shows up because you are that connected. You're that tuned in and that plugged in to this abundant source. And yes, your orgasms are far more amazing. But I'm going to leave that for another time because some of y'all are trying to have really fabulous orgasms with your pipes all clogged up, full of shit. And so you think you're having a fabulous orgasm and your body's like, yeah, and your soul is like, because you're not. Because you're still a lot of static, a lot of snow. The antenna's not clear. That's really what I want you to begin to understand as you do this work. And I'm saying this as somebody who for years, which means decades, thought I was doing a lot of work, but it was like, and I said this last night, teaching a 30-day course with two other people. And I was saying it was like oil on top of water. Like, I was like, yeah, I know it. I know the stuff. I know about chakras. I know Reiki. But I wasn't actually embodying the practices. And it wasn't until I began to allow that to sink in that things in my life really began to shift. But in order to allow it to sink in, I had to open. I couldn't keep my defenses up anymore. I couldn't continue to pretend things were okay anymore. See, this you think what you're doing with this book is wealth, but you're really opening yourself up to receive. But you cannot receive if you're not willing to expose yourself. Not that way. The truth of who you are. You have to be willing to expose your shit. You have to be willing to own it. You have to be willing to acknowledge the human in you. You have to be willing to be vulnerable. You think building wealth is about hustle hard. You think it's about putting in hard work. when it's really actually about you spreading open and being willing to be vulnerable and to surrender and to receive and to do that over and over and over again. To notice what you're in service to. And this doesn't mean everyone needs to run out and work for themselves. When you're in service to something, you could be in service to support. Everyone needs support. People who work for themselves need someone to support what they're doing. And that could be the thing that you are here to do. And if you don't know that, if you're over here trying to be a boss, struggling, trying to make shit work, and it's like, I don't want to do this, but everybody's telling me I'm supposed to do it, you're not listening to the call of your soul. When the call of your soul is like, I want to align myself with something that I can give all of these expertise to. That happens when your antenna is clear. But once it is, shit happens exponentially. That's the bending of time, because time is not linear. And because you are tapped in now to this frequency, to your personalized frequency, because your frequency is not the same as anyone else's. Even if 5 of you are saying the same thing, you're saying it at 5 different frequencies. Your voices are literally vibrating at different frequencies. And someone's hearing that frequency, and they're hearing person number 1. Nope. Person number 2. Nope. Person number 3. Oh, yes, that frequency vibrates with me. It hits my body. When you start vibrating at your personal frequency, which means clearing out your shit, then what you need, what you desire, starts to instantly appear. You're not waiting 5 years. It's there. And it's so funny. I'm thinking of when I watched The Secret. Oh my God. When did that movie come out? It's 2006, 7? When it came out then, and in one of the scenes, the guy was like, but there's a mechanism, right? That, what you want doesn't come instantly, because the universe is like, whoa, let's make sure that this is clear here. Yeah. So it's really important that you make sure that what you're asking for is what you really want. Don't be asking to be a millionaire and you're afraid that people are going to take your money from you, because you'll get money and it'll be gone. Don't be out here asking for all of these riches, but you actually don't think you're worthy of it, because it'll be gone. Don't use this as a way to try to bring love into your life, because first of all, you're already love, and any love that comes to you is due to the vibration you're already putting out. So if you're putting out the vibration of I need love before I can love me, you're putting out a vibration of lack, and that's what you're going to get back. And maybe you don't really want a relationship because you're really, really, in this lifetime, you're so excited to just explore you, but you keep trying to do this thing because everybody says you're supposed to, and you keep ending up in shitty relationship after shitty relationship. And it might be because you're like, I'm really okay, but you're trying to make something work that's not. There's so many different scenarios. The point is to get clear. My inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to my needs and desires, and as the principle of supply in action. It is impossible for me to have any needs or unfulfilled desires. Your inner supply instantly and constantly takes on form and experience according to your needs and desires. And as the principle of supply and action, it is impossible for you to have any needs or unfulfilled desires, because you are walking embodiment of source energy. Everything you need is right here. It's right here. Really. You have everything you need already in you. It's not out there somewhere. It's not in another book. The books are simply opening what's in you. It's not in another program. The programs and the containers and the workshops are opening what's already in you. You're not finding something new out there. You're uncovering and discovering what the truth already is that exists. Stop looking externally. You are complete as you are. You have just forgotten who you are. Remember that. This is day 36. 4 days left and we're done. Oh my gosh, what's today? The 9th, so 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th. On October 13th, Wednesday, we are finished with 40-day prosperity plan for 2021. The videos, as always, are easy to find on my YouTube channel. Like I have them on a playlist. So if you start from the beginning and you feel like you want a friendly voice to go along with it, feel free to join me there. If you're interested in joining the Sensual Energy Coven, which is my membership group for women, just DM me. Let's get on I'd like to talk to everybody who likes to join the coven. It's not a salesy thing. I just like to talk to people, especially if I don't know who you are, and let's just be like, hey, let's find out what's going on and what is it about the coven that interests you. But you're more than welcome to reach out to me about it and get more information to see. And that's it for today. Something smells really good in my room. I think it's my magical mystic oil. It is masterful. All right. I love you. I will see you tomorrow for day 37.